Now, if I did the same thing once again below here, draw another square or rectangle. Once again, same ratio and proportion. Down like this. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my vanishing point right up here. Very, very close to that top corner. Okay. So you guys do the same thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend from the vanishing point through the corners. These lines which will describe the ceiling line, the floor line on the one side, and this will be the floor line on this side here, and the ceiling line over on this side here. You can see how sharply these lines veer off in this direction here. Okay, that's because we're very, very close to the edge of the wall here. It's almost like we've got our head right up against the edge of the wall, and our head is almost touching the ceiling here. So therefore this wall is coming almost right straight towards us on a very sharp angle here. Whereas this wall, because it's further out on the side there, it's flattened out much further. But we can still see a lot of the floor here, down on that plane. So what we've done is we've simply shifted our horizon line and our vanishing point to a different position within the room. And so once again, when you're choosing your point of view that you want the audience to be looking at, you can place yourself anywhere within that environment. Right? Anywhere you want inside that square. If the ceiling is like solid and the walls are solid and the floor is solid, you can do that. If the ceiling is glass, you can go outside of it because then you can see inside. Right? So don't be afraid to take your horizon line outside the area if you wanted to. So let's just try that over here. Okay, let's just keep this as our horizon line right here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take the parameter of the room and we're going to drop it down below here. So here's my ceiling line here. Here's my floor line. There's my one wall over here. And here's my other wall over here. So once again, the easiness of this is becoming apparent, I hope, in the fact that we've already drawn two lines. Now we only have one final choice as to where the remainder of our lines are going to go. We know that they're all going to go through each of the corners here. And so all we have to do is select where's our vanishing point. So for this one, let's pick a vanishing point that's over here. So now what you do is you simply connect from the vanishing point through each of the corners. And now what we have is a down shot of a room. It's as though we've taken the ceiling off and we're looking down inside of the room. Now with each of these, the next choice that we have to make, and again, this can come at the very beginning or it can come at the end. Usually you make a conscious decision about this at the very beginning, and that is, what's your field of vision? So you take your L7, field of vision here, and you determine where is that going to be in relationship to your environment. So when I look at it like this, there's my field of vision. If I shift my field of vision down like this, I'm looking down at the floor. See, my horizon line has moved higher within my field of vision, so I'm looking down the floor. I can't see any of the ceiling. When I shift it up like this, I can't see any of the floor now, but I can see the ceiling. And my horizon line is now lower within my field of vision. So you can do that with each and every one of your views here. Select where your field of vision is going to sit. Right in the center, so you see an equal amount of ceiling and floor. Lower, so you're looking down. Up here, so you're looking up. and this one here. Because our horizon line is so high, we'd probably end up looking slightly more down, so we put our horizon line higher. With this one here, we could place our field of vision more like this. Let me pull myself out and shift it down like this so the top edge of the room is out, and slide it over this way so we actually don't see this line right here within our field of vision. So what that does, it creates a feeling that we're up above and we're looking down severely on the floor. Okay? We're not necessarily outside of the room, we're just way up high looking down. Right? So we can create any type of a point of view based on where we place our horizon line, how we select our field of vision, and where we place our end wall. And then once we've got our vanishing point, we simply extend our lines out to describe that. Okay? So there's the basics of doing simple one-point perspective rooms. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to drawing one-point perspective boxes. Okay? So in this version here, what we've done is we are inside the box. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move ourselves outside of the box. So take a fresh sheet of paper now. And I hope everybody is following along with me, because you actually need to physically do this. If you're just sitting passively and not drawing, it either means you know everything that we're talking about right now and you're an expert at it and this is all redundant, or you're totally lost and you have no idea what you're doing, in which case you should be doing the drawings. All right, so what we're going to do this time is I'm going to draw a horizon line right across here. I want you to do the same thing. Draw a horizon line across like this. Then I want you to place a horizon line right dead center of your paper, across like this. And then I want you to place another horizon line very low on your sheet of paper, across like that. So you're going to have 3 horizontal lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw 6 different boxes on here. Each one's going to be completely different. So what we'll do is we're going to select, well, let's not select the vanishing points first. What we're going to do is we're simply going to draw a square. Okay? Just draw a square, 1 square here, 1 square here, and 1 square over here. Okay? And the first one, what I want you to do is make this square, as far as its overall ratio, and it could be a rectangle as well if you want it to be, make it about that distance away from the horizon line. Okay, so there's the first one. This next one, I want you to bring it closer to the horizon line. To about there. And the next one, I want you to place it further away from the horizon line, down here. You'll have 3 squares on here now. A couple of seconds to finish that up. Okay, for the first box, we're going to pick a vanishing point that's right here. Directly above and approximately in the center between your 2 edges here and here. And so what we're going to do now is, instead of doing what we did with the room where we project the lines out this direction here, we're going to project the lines back inside. So from each of the corners, I want you to extend the line back to the vanishing point. And the same thing with your bottom corners. Don't take it all the way back to the vanishing point. Just like that. So now, once again, we're demonstrating the basic definition of what perspective is. The edge that's across here, this line that represents the front bottom edge of the box, the width of it from here to here could be any given width. It could be 12 inches, we'll say. It's a 12-inch box, 12 inches by 12 inches. So when we look at these two lines here, receding from this corner and this corner back, and the distance between them gets smaller, it creates the illusion that it's actually further away. And the same thing with the top edge. This top edge is 12 inches across, and as the distance gets closer together back there, it appears to be getting smaller. So there's the perception of depth. So now what we need to do is we need to decide where's the back end of the box. We have the front edge of the box right here. That's the front surface. Now we need to decide how far back does this box go. So just make an arbitrary decision. Place the line wherever you want, but make it parallel to the line. Cross like that. And that line now defines the top surface of the box. There's a plane there. We have a front plane that's facing directly towards us, flat, and now we have a plane that's at a 90-degree angle, and it's receding back into the distance, and so the distance from here to here gives us our depth and the back edge. Now from this point on, it's a game of connect the dots. As a matter of fact, it's always been a game of connect the dots. We have corner points here, which are connection points, dots, and we have a vanishing point. So what we did is we took each of those points and we connected it back to the vanishing point. So we're going to do the exact same thing now. We have now introduced two brand new points here and here, which we only have a single choice of which direction that they can go in. We've already exhausted our first choice. This line here is going to the vanishing point. We can't do it again. It's done. This line here is going parallel to the horizon line. What's our final choice? Oh, come on. There's only three choices, and I've already described two of them. What's the final choice? Vertical, straight up and down. That's the only other choice you have, right? So therefore, from this corner right here, drop a line straight down until it crisscrosses through this line right here. Make sure that it's parallel, so you move your ruler across so that you can line it up here if you want, or you can line it up there. But you just simply drop your line down until it crisscrosses through this line through here. Same thing with this side over on this side. From the corner, make sure that it's parallel, drop the line straight down until it crisscrosses through. And then you should be able to connect these 2 points together. Cross like that. And now you've created another box that's smaller than the first box, but proportionately it's the same size. It's just going back into the distance. And the connection points from your corners here and here are radiating back to the vanishing point, which describes the depth of the box. So we have a clear glass box now, drawn in one-point perspective with the horizon line above. So we say that we're above the box, we're looking down on it, and we're situated directly in front of the box from above. Okay? So if we were to look at this from a floor plan point of view, similar to what we did in this version here, if we say that this is the box right here, from above, we are standing right here, and we are looking at the box there. The vanishing point is running through the center of the box right here, which is the center of the box right there. Okay? So from an above point of view, we're looking down in the box. This is where we are. This is the direction that we're looking. And there's our vanishing point right there. So we're looking down in the box. Okay? Now we're going to do the same thing here. But this time what I want you to do is I want you to shift your vanishing point over to the side here. And do the exact same thing that we just finished doing. Follow the same step-by-step process. It's connect the dots at this point. Okay? You have 4 corners and you've got 1 vanishing point. Connect all your dots together. You don't have any other choices, all right? So when we go from this corner here, we have to go to this vanishing point. There's no other choice. We select this bottom corner down here. We go up to the vanishing point. We have no other choice. We select this top corner here to the vanishing point, no other choice. And from this bottom corner here to the vanishing point, once again, no other choice. Okay? You can't go anywhere else. I noticed this in last week's class when I asked you guys to draw the boxes, like the 1-point room with the 2-point box. And I noticed that some people, when you were drawing the 2-point perspective box, you were doing something like this. You did a version of that within the 1-point room, which A means that these lines are going parallel to each other. Okay? They're not actually going to a vanishing point. These lines here were all going straight up and down. But you have to go to a vanishing point. It also means that we're tilting the box up towards us. And there is no depth. The measurement of this distance from here to here and here to here is exactly the same. As so is this to this to this to this. They're all the same. But there has to be a perception of depth through the idea that it's getting smaller as it goes further away. So that's why we have to use the vanishing point there. So now again, we're at the point where we have to make a decision. How deep is this box? How deep does the box go? Okay. So just make an arbitrary decision. You could say it just goes to there. Okay. So you draw your line from there to there, make it parallel to your edge, and connect that point. Once again, we've already gone back to the vanishing point. That was our one choice. We've already done it. We've already gone straight up and down. So from this corner here, the only other choice that we have is to go parallel to the horizon line. So we go across to that opposite corner over there and connect the point. Once again, we only have one choice. We've gone to the vanishing point, we've gone parallel to the horizon line, so now we go straight up and down. It's the only choice we have. We now have a new point up here. Okay. It's already gone back to the vanishing point. It's already going straight up and down, so the only other choice we have is to go parallel to the horizon line and connect it to the opposite corner over here. So it's a game of connect the dots. And that completes our box. Okay. So now we can just barely see a sliced edge of this box over here, just slightly a bit of the top, but we can see a substantial amount of the inside edges there. So once again, if we go back to our plan view, in this version here, we were standing directly in front of the box. In this version here, we're slightly off to the side. Our vanishing point is outside the edge, so therefore our position in relationship to the box is right there. Right? So we've simply slid ourselves over a little bit. And we've also crouched down a little bit because the horizon line is coming down towards the top of the box. So physically we are dropping down. And that's assuming the fact that these boxes are actually on a plane, a surface, like the floor. Okay. Now with this final one here, what I want you to do is select the vanishing point that's over here, on this edge. And once again, follow your steps. We've created 4 points. We have a vanishing point. What are your only choices at this point? Connect your corners to the vanishing points. So I've got 4 radiating lines going back. And then I have to make a decision. How deep is the box? So I can do that anywhere I want. I could pick it at any point. We'll use this corner here as being the end point there. And make sure your lines are parallel. So this line goes straight up and down. So now I have 2 new points that I've created. One here, one here. They are already going back to the vanishing point. It's already going vertical, so So my only other choice is to do a horizontal. It's just obviously logical, right? Get that line to go across here, and this line goes across here. And I have one edge left over, so I've got to connect these 2 points here. No other place to go. And that finalizes my box. So now with this one, from my plan point of view, go back to this version here, I can see this outer edge here and more of the top. So that means that I've actually placed myself further over on this side here, looking in this direction, because I can see more of this edge. And this is called a station point. Like if you're working with a plan view, this is your station point. That's where you are stationed in relationship to the object. So when you project lines in the plan view from this to the corners, it tells you how much of that edge you're going to see. Right? If I project it from this point here through like this, I'm not going to see the outer edges here. I can't see these sides. I can see the inside of it from here to here. So when we're looking at this view here, I can see the inside and the inside here, but I can't see the outer edge. Like I can see it on here and like I can see it on here. So visually, when we're looking at this, based on the principles that we understand in everyday life, once we've drawn this and we show it to someone, they automatically know this is the top of the box. This is the right-hand side of the box. This is the bottom inside of the box. This is the left-hand side inside of the box. And that's the back of the box over there. Right? Okay. It's just the way things are. That's how we see things. So when you draw it, it has to represent what people always know when they see a box in real life. Okay? This is not a box. It's a bunch of pencil lines on a sheet of paper that represent a box. There is no dimension. It's a flat sheet of paper. Okay. But yet it has the representation of having dimension in it. And that's the trick that we want to show people. We want to create the illusion of depth. And it's simply by following this simple rule. Vanishing point, lines either go vertical, horizontal, parallel to the horizon line, or to the vanishing point. Once again, it doesn't get any simpler than that. It's insanely simple. All right?